first item we have on our agenda is actually a presentation. Are both of you gentlemen with Bus Patrol? That is the company?
I'm with Bus
Yes and
Patrol.
no.
And you,
I'm John Bolton.
you are?
Yes.
Good to meet you in person.
Finally, after numerous emails.
You're with the Village of North Syracuse, you're a trustee, correct?
Yes.
So, and you were an advocate actually for Bus Patrol, contacted myself and the town board, about having us potentially join into this program, specific because of the school districts that overlap.
Correct.
Which makes a lot of sense. With that, the town board is considering this program, I'm gonna call it for now, but I felt it was good for the public and for the board to have somebody give us hopefully a short presentation about what impact it could have on our community, positive impact, and potentially take any questions that we may have before we move forward with it, okay?
Absolutely.
So I'll let you give your presentation and we'll go from there.
Absolutely.
Denise, you got the camera rolling now.
It's back.
Well, thank you so much for having me tonight. My name is Tom Tokars here with Bus Patrol. I've been with Bus Patrol for a little over 3 years now, mainly working with New York and the school districts and municipal communities all over the state. Again, thank you so much for your time. I heard the keyword short. I'll do my best. I love talking about this stuff, but I definitely respect everyone's time. So, just a little bit about who we are here at Bus Patrol. We're a safety company with a mission to provide a safe ride to and from school for all students in the country. We have a strong presence in New York right now, working with many neighboring municipalities, school districts, and getting downstate. We're on around 30,000 school buses across the country right now, and really started off in Suffolk County, New York was one of our first clients, 5,000 buses in Suffolk, and then we do programs up this way, Glenville, as small as 20 buses. So we really have a large experience from the larger communities to the smaller communities, leveraging this AI technology that recently hit the market to change driver behavior, hold motorists accountable when they're driving past the school bus, and again, make sure that the children have a safe route to and from school every day. We are the industry leader in the space. We serve 90% of the market. 9 out of every 10 school bus stop arm cameras you see across the country are serviced, produced by Bus Patrol, and that's something we're really proud of. I'm going to skip around again in the interest of keeping this short. A little bit around where we are around the country right now. Again, we just really started here in New York, but as we expand mostly along the East Coast, there's been really a great value proposition to school districts and municipal communities alike, where it's really a no-brainer. We've seen it adopted very quickly. Just this week, we were featured on the Today Show for our program in Miami, Florida. We just launched on 1,200 of their buses down south, and some really great earned media. People love to talk about it because it's providing a service that has been so limited in the past. Yes, everyone, for the most part, knows that it's a law to stop for the school bus, but to have the resources behind every single school bus, there's already an officer shortage going around the country right now, and to be able to almost put an officer on every school bus and hold these drivers accountable is what our program looks to do. So here's just a sample of the technology that we offer to the school districts, both internal and external cameras. We want to provide the external cameras to pick up on these incidents and work with law enforcement to hold these motorists accountable again, but also to be a partner with the school district to give them extra eyes inside the bus, be a full safety partner for fight incidents, bullying incidents, and things like that, enhancing the school bus technology that we see on the roadway today. This is a really serious problem, and before I joined this company, I wouldn't have thought it was. This survey is from the National Association of People Student Transportation, and the numbers are quite large, but to stay closer to home, the governor just this year put out a traffic safety report that counted 50,000 people every single day in the state of New York alone illegally passing a school bus, which is really shocking. Every time an incident like that occurs, it's an opportunity for an accident to happen or worse, and it's something that we see. Again, I alluded to earlier, it's really hard for traditional enforcement to catch a problem like this. There's so many school buses on the roadways, so many students being transported, and that's really where our technology comes in to pick up on incidents like this. I won't play this whole video again in the interest of time, but this is just a sample of what our school bus cameras are picking up while they're out on the roadway. It's a clear, wide view of the stop arm side of the bus, so we have a full picture of these cars approaching and leaving the incident, either shortly before or shortly after a child is trying to cross the roadway to get to their stop, to get to their house, or onto the bus. And again, it's These are the ones that I felt comfortable showing to the public. It really is quite scary, some of the videos you see of children almost getting hit or worse a lot of these times, and it's something that we found to be correctable through a process of working with local law enforcement and working with the school district. Again, Mr. Barr, you mentioned that this is kind of in collaboration with other municipalities because of the Cicero North Syracuse School District overlaying between Salina, Cicero, Clay, and the village of North Syracuse. So working with the four municipalities to get full coverage around where these school buses are running for the school district. And really, to take a step back, New York State Law 1174A enables this type of program statewide, but to enact it at a local level, it needs to be enabled through a local ordinance. So that's really where the municipal partnership comes into play to allow that type of enforcement in the town of Salina. And I apologize for the pronunciation, I just realized I said it two different ways. I'm clearly not from there. So that's really where that municipal partnership comes in. The state law was written in a way where you do need that municipal partnership. This program operates cost neutral to the school district, and that's written into the state statute. So again, the partnership with the bus patrol providing the technology, the municipal partnership to work on the enforcement side of things. Bus patrol is never going to be the deciding factor of what is a citation and what is not. We're simply providing evidence and packages back to your law enforcement to make that decision. And a lot of that is done through our AI technology. She's doing a lot of the first internal review for us. I'll skip ahead because I really like this video here, where you can kind of see the technology in action. You can see we're picking up every single car on and across the roadway right here. And they're all being tagged with a unique identifier. So in our system, when we go to review these, we can see that the car all the way parked here looks like a car dealership of sorts, right? We're starting to figure out, our AI starting to figure out, exactly what is the difference between a driving car, a car passing a school bus, where that car had to be for it to be in front of the school bus stop arm while it was extending. But obviously that's not the only review on our side. We have a full team of internal reviewers, a lot of ex-law enforcement on our team looking at these tickets as well before we send them to the police. Because we don't want to be in the business of, sending out tons and tons of tickets. We want to be sending out the tickets that are without a doubt hold up in the court of law. So we have a couple layers of review here, and as I mentioned, with a lot of the programs, 30,000 buses we're on right now, this technology is consistently improving. We see, a dramatic increase, or decrease, I should say, in wrongful tickets being sent to police or tickets being denied by police officers in our partnerships that we work with over time as our technology continues to get better. And our goal is to obviously only send the 100% tickets over to law enforcement. You can see at the bottom of this, we also have a couple additional cameras. The main camera angle here is really what we use to pick up the data, but when we provide that evidence package, we show a full picture of the incident, the car approaching and leaving the bus, as well as a clear picture of that license plate. A big difference that has led to bus patrol's growth is how we approach the market and trying to provide this to the school districts who may not have budget to go out and spend thousands of dollars on camera technology. So working with the municipal partnership, working with the school district, and trying to protect every single student that attends the school that we partner with is a big piece to us, because for us, for the superintendent to go back to the board and say, well, we're going to put cameras on 20 of our 50 routes, so they're going to have the most people and make the most money for us. Never sat right with us. So we came and we do a full fleet approach. And most of the times those rural roads where you may not have as many drivers are the ones where the accidents get the worst, right? So that's a big piece to us. We want to make sure that every student in the town of Salina and at the Cicero North Syracuse School District is protected. Obviously, we can enforce this through a ticket amount. People get hit in the wallet, teaches you a lesson. It almost makes you pump your brakes the next time you see a school bus. But we can do that in a lot of other ways. Through earned media, social media, we do a 30-day warning period before we ever write a ticket in every one of our partnership communities. We put up road signage at every exit and entryway into the municipality, so people have an idea that, hey, this has always been the law, but now it's being enforced. To the media piece, we were just featured on the Today Show this week, actually, for a program we launched down in Miami, Florida, about 1,200 school buses. And we really see a lot of media outlets love to pick up on this type of stuff. It's a great student safety message, and we want to be a partnership with the town if that program was to launch, and spreading the word far, not only for awareness, but for safety reasons as well, to make sure everyone's stopping for the school bus. And along with that, we can tackle the problem in a couple of different ways. We can tackle it by the drivers who are actually passing the school bus, but if we can remind our school children and students to make sure they're stopping for the bus and they have the right practice around that. We try to make this a full safety program, in any way we can. So we have a ton of materials, especially just last week was School Bus Safety Week. We went around to about 12 different schools in the country, did classroom teaching sessions, brought a whole bunch of these educational materials, bus patrol book bags, and things like that, to get everyone in the spirit to stop for the school bus. So that's really what this program is about at the end of the day. A couple of additional pieces as a value add back to the school district, because New York is unique in the fact that the program is operated through a municipal partnership. In every other state, we work directly with the school district. So in New York, what we look to do, or for all of our partners across the country to be that full safety partner, is provide a full suite of internal cameras for the school district's use at zero cost to the district. Again, for bullying incidents, fighting incidents, things like that. And because we're able to offer this and we're able to offer really high quality technology here because of the stop arm program offsetting our costs. And then of course it's a big value add to the school district, and you don't have to go pull that whole DVR off a bus, plug it into the library, download a file. We're really bringing a technology program to a lot of the schools that we service, just making their safety access a lot easier to manage. Some examples of the cameras we have here. See windshield one, and just a lot of extra nice to have pieces for the district while their bus drivers are out on the roadway. And this program operates completely in the background, I will say, so the bus driver doesn't have to, hit a button or act any way other than what they're doing. They should be focused on transporting those students safely, and we take care of the work from there. A couple extra angles of the internal camera footage. So the reporting that we'll offer back to the town if this program wants to go live, and also to the district, is really quite valuable. From the district side, they gain a lot of information on where these stops are occurring, maybe altering the routes for the upcoming years. On the town side, if we have one really bad spot where all the tickets are coming in, maybe we put a police officer there one day a week and kind of just have, presence in that area. So everything that we're picking up and gathering from this, our technology model out of the roadways, we provide back to our partners to make sure you guys are using it how you see best fit. We have a lot of, we're happy to assist there. We do this all over the country, here in all over the states, so we can absolutely provide recommendations and things along that line. All of our technology is installed in-house by Bus Patrol. We don't use any third parties. All of our technicians are trained at an academy down in Chantilly, Virginia, where they spend about 2 weeks learning the ins and outs of our system, all the bus types. We really get raving reviews around the installation team about how they treat the buses of the school districts. Taking those cameras off, they can get a new bus coming in, say, a year down the line, or order 5 new buses, we come back out, replace that new tech, or replace the old buses, get our technology off the old buses onto the new buses, right? So that is all done by Bus Patrol. And I said I'll keep it short. One of my favorite stats, this has dropped just a little bit. I gotta update that. It's at 95% right now. 95% of people who get a ticket through our program don't get a second one. And that's something I really hang my hat on. I think it goes to show that this program goes to enforce the law and change that driver behavior and protect the students on their way to and from school every day. So I try to keep that short so good. Thank you for hearing me out, and love to answer any questions, preliminary you might have.
So I'll just make a quick comment. One, I appreciate it. You were quick. There was a lot of good information. A lot of it is obviously school district oriented more than town. But the mechanism from the town knowing that there needs to be a municipal agreement, sounds like you said a local ordinance, so a local law would probably have to be drafted. We would have to pass, schedule a public hearing. I personally think it's a no-brainer from the town side. It also brings, seeing those videos, but it also brings some memories back. Less than a year ago, I think we saw the pretty horrific vehicle that almost hit this poor child getting off the school bus. I think it was in the town of Manlius. How shocking that was. Fortunately, there was a ring camera from a house, but if you had this technology, how much more helpful would it have been at that time? So it doesn't sound like there's a cost to municipality.
Correct. So we offer the program at zero cost, and then really we're bringing on the municipality is that enforcement piece.
My question to you is, if you guys provide the evidence for a ticket to be issued from the local police. In our case, we don't have a police department in the town of Salina. We work with the sheriffs. Is that what you would send it to the sheriffs? The sheriffs would make a decision whether to write a ticket in our town court?
Yes, that would most likely be the case, and you actually have a little bit of an option there. The way the state law is written, it has to be a municipal employee. So it doesn't technically have to be a badged officer. We do recommend it in most cases, but I think the sheriffs would probably be a good path. And that's
So you could potentially send it to, say, a code enforcement officer who writes parking tickets.
You could.
That's what I'm doing this.
My other question to you is, obviously, you know, my job is to run the town financially as well. Is the ticket revenue from the ticket split with you guys?
Yeah, so we would enter into a revenue share with the town. So the money coming back from these tickets, we go to bus patrol to offset all our hardware costs, getting the technology and the program set up, and then also back to the town to help for things, hours spent reviewing the citations, adjudication in court. For all the tickets that do get challenged in the court of law, a piece of that ticket does go to the local court where it's heard, to help offset their costs of hearing the citation, hearing the trial and everything there. So there would be a revenue share. I don't have hard numbers for you, but it typically be between the 70-30, 40-60 split.
So, along with passing the local law, I'm assuming that there's going to be a contract, an agreement between the local municipality and bus truck, correct?
There is, and we have a couple of options to piggyback off of. We've been competitively awarded a number of times in New York, most recently by the town of Glenville for that Rockland County, Orange County, Dutchess County, have all went out to RFP and have made their agreements piggyback.
Right, so that begs one last question, just because the school district's involved with it. If the town would have to do a RFP or a bid process, that's something that we can look into though, I don't know.
For this service, I mean, this seems more like a professional service than anything else, so I don't think we would have to do an actual
Which
formal
makes it,
bid process for it. It's like similar to our rental registry, like we didn't do a bid process for that, because it's a professional service.
okay, that's what I was assuming, I'm just wanting to make sure it was clear as we move forward with this, if the town says that they want to move forward with it. Are there, exactly what, Daniel, I was actually gonna make that comment, it sounds very similar to the rental registry you said. Is there any questions from, board members? Seeing that there is.
I got one, Councilor Carney kind of brought it up and made me think about it. So, when are the cameras, when do they start recording, when do they stop recording, right? Because I can see, obviously, I mean, you're seeing people's houses and stuff like that, so just, I know there's always some naysayers, you can't make everybody happy, so those people that are concerned with the privacy of their like houses and stuff like that, it's like, when is it recording, when is it not recording?
Yeah, no, really good question. So the stop arm cameras start recording when the bus is turned on. So while they're out of the roadway, they are recording. To add to that, we have a 2 terabyte DVR that sits on the bus that gets overwritten if the footage isn't used for a ticket of some sorts very quickly. So we aren't holding on to the data that we're collecting while we're out on the roadway if it wasn't related to a citation.
Also, just to that point, any individual driver can drive around with a dash cam on their personal vehicle. So if that's more of a reference point to homeowners, just always be aware that people driving in your community could have dash cams on their car as it is currently. But good question, David. With that, what I'm going to, I think what the town would like is our attorney to work on a local law. At the same time, I think I would urge you folks to actually provide an agreement or contract for us to begin to look at and potentially raise questions regarding some of the more intricate parts of it. For the public, the town will likely take up the local law at its next meeting to schedule a public hearing. So it will take at least 2 meetings before the town can actually make a decision whether or not we will sign up on this. All right?
Yep. And just to add, Joseph, I can send you some examples of
Yeah,
local
great.
laws in the area.
I was gonna ask if you had any other
Definitely.
municipalities you work with that would.
I'll send you a handful of them. Yep.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
You're all set?
Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you.
Can I just add a little bit?
Yes.
Just
John.
real quick. So about a year and a half ago, I was helping my granddaughter get on the bus. And I was not on the village board at the time. I was just a grandfather helping my granddaughter. Saw these vehicles just blowing by the bus. I went to the North Syracuse School District, met with Matt Conte, and I said, how can we stop this? And he goes, John, it's tough. He goes, you can't put a police officer behind every bus, blah, blah, blah. I went to the North Syracuse Police, and I complained. And they started having an officer follow the buses. Couldn't believe the number of tickets they were writing. Then, about 14 months ago, I decided to run for public office. Got on the village board of North Syracuse, love it, got 3 more years left on my term, but I'm here more as a grandparent. okay? I researched all the different companies that are available. Bus Patrol is by far the best company that you can go. The Village of North Syracuse, we just passed a local law. Well, let me rephrase that. Local law is going to public hearing at our next meeting. So we presented to the village board voted 5-0 to do a public hearing for the local law. Our village attorney wrote the local law. If you'd like, I can forward that same local law over to you. It's going to the public hearing next meeting. I'm confident it's gonna get approved. The great part about this whole thing is there's no responsibility and there's no financial outlay to anybody. The school district doesn't pay any money, the town doesn't pay any money, the village doesn't pay any money, and Bus Patrol does all the work. Now, your question about having a law enforcement officer do it, it can be a municipal employee too. So if we don't have to go to the sheriffs and say, hey, can you give us a guy? It could be anybody who works for the municipality. Bus Patrol will come in and train them and say, okay, you had 9 violations this week. They send you the 9 violations. Your person reviews the 9 violations, doesn't feel comfortable with one of them, so only sends back 8. Mr. Citizen, who broke the law, when he gets his violation, there's a symbol on there for him to go and view the video. So how many people are gonna fight it when they view the video and it shows them going through the stop? So don't look at me, please, as a village trustee, because I'm here as a parent who took this on as a personal goal and then decided to run for public office afterwards. So I've met with the supervisor of Cicero, I've met with the supervisor of Clay. They're both reviewing it, and that's why we want to get everybody who's covered under the Cicero North Syracuse School District. One thing I do want to make you aware of, the county is looking at some type of a program like this, but they're looking at doing it countywide, and they're only going to pick up a couple of school districts as a pilot. So I just want to be perfectly transparent. You may hear about this from other avenues. I'm going to the Ways and Means Committee meeting tomorrow for the county legislator because they're looking at passing a local law. What we're trying to get them to do is look at it as a school district package and not an entire county package. Okay? Any questions I can answer for you? My granddaughter's 6 years old and wants to see a picture of her. Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, appreciate it. I'll let you do what you gotta do, but we'll keep the meeting moving. Do we have a motion to open the public hearing to create the Oswego Road Plan Unit Development? Motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Anybody signed up wishing to speak regarding this?
There's none.
Is there anybody in the town board that has questions? Without, that's good. Then do we have a motion to close the public hearing? Motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm prepared to do a vote. Joe, are we prepared to do this? Do we have a response from the county?
I don't believe we do, unfortunately.
Mark, do we have a response from the county?
For item,
The plan unit development for the solar,
yeah, at this time, no.
oh,
You're talking the Oswego one or the?
Oswego Road.
We do not.
We do
Yeah.
not.
Okay. The town is in a position to vote on this as soon as we hear back from the, yes, sir.
I'm welcome late, I'm sorry, I thought everything started at 6:30, is it already done, that has been?
We had a public hearing on it, you know what, can we let him speak to it?
That's fine.
Yeah,
I don't think we will.
yeah, I apologize, there was nobody signed up to speak on it, so, but if you would like to speak on it, I will be more willing to give you the mic.
I own, well, I don't, my wife owns the, Glass Murray building.
If you want, I'll let you, you can have 3 minutes to speak for or against it, or any questions, you just have to do it up here.
Okay.
It's up to you, it is completely up to you.
Yeah, I just really have no clue what's actually going on with the whole thing.
Sure.
So my name is Jim Cardinoni, my wife Angel Beetle Van Boden, her husband passed away, and she is the owner of the 7211 Oswego Road building. So I'm kind of like the landlord, inherited the building and kind of got a couple tenants in there, and so I got the notification that this was going on, so I just was coming down to see if it's a done deal.
It's the vacant property that's behind the fast track, kind of where the on-ramp, off-ramp is from through it.
Right in the horseshoe of it, right.
Right back there. They're looking at solar panels that will go there. It's a privately owned property, private
Right.
project. They just need, it's a zone change to allow for solar panels. There's only one other area in the town that allows for solar panels. Currently, we had to do the same zone change, actually for our landfill, the town's landfill. This piece of property, which is obviously tucked back there, you can only see it while you're getting on or off the thruway, would be another one. Again, this is a privately owned piece of property, private development.
So, me being the owner, I'm just call myself the owner of this building, I have tenants in there, so, how far are they set back from my property, or, you know?
That would be through site plan. All of that is through site plan. So this board only can determine change of zoning.
Various,
Yeah, so the site plan approval, any variances that the project development would need would go through our ZBA or zoning board. That meets on the opposite Mondays.
Okay.
So once we do the zone change,
Right.
then the developer will provide a site plan, and any potential, variance applications that they need to our ZBA. During that process, you would have that same opportunity that you would have now to make comments regarding the site plan, distances to the property line, etc. All right?
Gotcha.
So if your concerns are more impact on your property, it probably makes more sense during the site plan part of it.
Yeah, I guess I'm just like, that part of it, and just general knowledge of what's going on behind me.
We'll make sure our codes office provides you notice and conversation when the site plan comes. Yep.
Yeah.
Right? And Mark,
Yes,
he's back there
sir.
shaking his head.
Yes,
yes.
Yep.
Does that work?
Yeah, that's good.
All right, perfect.
Thank you.
Yep. Just so you're aware of the timeline on it, there will probably be no movement on site plan until the board is able to vote on the change of zoning. We can't vote on it until we hear back from the county. We probably won't be able to hear back from the county before our November 12th meeting either, huh?
Their meeting is the 13th.
So we will not be able to vote on it until our second meeting in November. Unfortunately, that has nothing to do with the town, it has everything to do with the county planning. So just so you have kind of a timeline on it, there's at least another month before the next steps start taking place. But make sure you utilize our planning and development office for questions you may have, okay? And I think potentially the developer is here as well, so you can actually have personal one-on-one conversations with him as well. All right? All right, so we can't vote on that, we'll move on to the next one. Do we have a motion to open the public hearing for a local law to change the zone of 720 Old Liverpool Road from O2 to C2?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Public hearing's open. Anybody sign up?
There's no.
Is there anybody that would like to speak for this public hearing? Seeing none, do we have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Joe, can we vote on this?
We can, we did hear back from the county, there was no adverse impacts detected by the county. We do need to do seeker first though. so-
That was my next question. This is a operating C2 building, it's pretty much non-conforming use currently. It was a restaurant prior, it's a restaurant now, they're making one small change in the building with a drive-through window. This is the new direct subs on Old Liverpool Road. There's a drive-through window that they would like to have, the previous use didn't have a drive-through window. Because of that, they need to change it to the more appropriate zoning of commercial from office. They probably should have been done a long time ago, so it's kind of more administerial than anything. With that, we have a motion to allow the town to be lead agency for secret.
And designated as unlisted action
Yes.
as well, yep.
Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Joe, go ahead.
Alright, so I'll read a series of questions, if I don't hear an answer, I'll assume the answer is no or small impact. Will the proposed action create material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulation? Will the proposed action result in a change in use or intensity of use of land? Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area? Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, bike, or walkway? Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and fail to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? Will the proposed action impact existing public-private water supplies, public-private wastewater treatment utilities? Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? Will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources? Will the proposed action result in an increase in potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? Will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health? Based upon the answers given, does anyone at this time want to make a motion finding no significant impact for purposes of State Environmental Quality Review Act review?
Do we have a second?
Okay.
All in favor, please say aye. All right, we're ready to vote on it. Do we have a motion to change the zone of 720 Old Liverpool Road from O2 to C2?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Downs?
Aye.
Counselor Paul?
Yes.
Counselor Cicarelli?
Yes.
Counselor Carney?
Yes.
Supervisor Henry?
Yes. Next is a public hearing on the 2025 preliminary budget. Do we have a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Public hearing is now open. Do we have anybody signed up to speak?
I do have Ellen Mullen.
Ellen, you know the show, 3 minutes. Please say your name and address for the record.
3 minutes.
Yes, please.
Ellen Mullen, 109 Ridgefield Boulevard, Middleville. The town has cut the budget for law enforcement from, 2024 was at $73,050, and it, went down in 2025, at $70,900. Why, and can you explain, and does that mean Salina will be less safe?
Would one of the board members like to answer, or?
Well, you know, what we did is, we had a school close, and there was no need for a crossing guard. So we eliminated the wages for the crossing guard. We do not have law enforcement in Salina, there is no police force.
Okay, I think that.
Is there any other board member that would like to respond as well?
I believe one thing that we did notice as well when we were budgeting certain years, because sometimes there's some anomalies that happen where it might be more or less. We were noticing that because we talked about when we first got on the board, can we put more money into it, but there's not enough people that are there to, as much money as we can throw at it, there's only enough people to be able to service that amount. So we had looked at that between those years, and that's why there was some reductions that we potentially looked at, because we just weren't hitting those numbers that we were budgeting. So every time that we're not, with any kind of budget stuff, if you're not hitting certain numbers, we're ending up taxing the residents for services that they're not getting just because of situations like that. So I know that's a piece of it, there was a discussion about that, but that's my understanding of the whole situation that was put out.
I'd like to reiterate to specifically answer your question, we eliminated the wages for a crossing guard.
Is there any other responses from the board? I would just personally like to point out, the town of Salina does not have law enforcement. The town of Salina funds $60,000 every
Why
year.
is there an item, law enforcement?
Because that was how the budget was set up long before I was ever supervisor, before any four of us, any of the four board members were on here. It funds crossing guards and a bingo inspector, and that's it. The only other line in there that actually has to do with your personal safety is $60,000 in enhanced services that we provide for the Onondaga County Sheriffs. We have not cut that, we have never cut that, we have been committed to that. We are in a contract with them every single year, we pay that, we ask them to patrol your streets. When you call my office asking for people who are running stop signs or speeding, we pay for extra services so you get extra safety. Any insinuation to the otherwise is a lie, that we have cut any law enforcement in the town of Salina. I'm happy we were able to have this on the record.
Okay, I just noticed that there was a
Thank you very much.
decrease. Okay, you're welcome.
Is there any other comments regarding the 2025 preliminary budget?
Nobody else has signed up.
Anybody wishing to speak on it?
I would like to say that I commend this board for getting together and creating this budget this year. We've done a great job, and for the services we provide for residents to improve quality of life and have great services to all residents in the town of Salina.
Any other comments from the board? I will follow Dave on this. I know this is our first and our second ward councilors' first budget process. They were extremely active, they were engaged, their input was, actually quite a few changes were done because of you both, as well as the coordination and cooperation with the third and the fourth ward councilor. I give all four of you guys a tremendous amount of credit. I think, in
We
all.
work together well on this.
Yeah, we worked extremely well. I'm gonna say this, I also think that, this is one of the budgets that I kind of helped where I could help, but I really kind of let you all four kind of take the reins on it and run with it. It's a good one. Taxes are remaining low in the town. And, again, I'm actually really proud of the work that we were able to do over the last couple weeks on it.
Well, if we're thanking people, I also wanna thank our comptroller for all the work that she did in the budget too, and answering all of our questions, and that's important.
She gets a thank you from me every day, but I'm sure she's happy to hear from you. All right, with that, do we want to close the public hearing? We can close it, correct? Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. We cannot vote on it per New York State law. We have to wait till our next meeting. Between now and then, there could be changes, potential changes to it. If there are proposals from the board, it will be posted obviously before our November 12th meeting when we'll vote on the preliminary budget. The next is a public hearing on the 2025 Special Improvement District budget. All right, do we have a motion to open it?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. Anybody sign up to speak? Anybody wishing to speak on the Special Improvement District budget? Any comments from the board? Do we have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We will vote on it on November 12th. After the preliminary budget, we will also be voting on the Liverpool Fire Department budget at the time as well. The next is residents wishing to speak and town board comments. Do we have anybody signed up wishing to speak?
I do, I have Mike Capriati.
Mr. Capriati,
Welcome, Mr. Capriati.
How you doing?
you have 3 minutes. Please say your name and address for the record, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Michael Capriati, 200 East Dale Street. Seriously, Glencourt, Shop City area. The only concern I have is you need police presence out there. Maybe 24 hours now, what I've been seeing. You guys like Blum, you know where Watson and East Dale meet, that curve. They're going 40, 50 miles an hour through those stop signs.
Yeah, it's a sharp turn that you live on too.
Oh,
which is
boy,
very
dangerous.
dangerous.
I just want to see more police presence.
We have, as I stated, $60,000 in enhanced
Yeah.
services. What we will do is we will contact the sheriff's office and we'll ask them to put extra patrols in your neighborhood, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Keep up the good work.
Can you take care of that, Paul? Thank you. All right, first word comments.
Nick.
Oh, do we have somebody else signed up?
Signed up, but are you speaking again or you're all set?
All set.
Okay.
Okay.
Carry on, sorry.
Sorry about that. First word comments.
I just want to thank the town board for trick or treating on Saturday. It was lovely. I think we handed out over 700 pieces of candy, so we can't wait to do it again next year. We were talking about how we can make it even bigger. And then just to the community, if there are events that you want us to attend, just let us know. We want to support. We want to see what's happening in the town, so please let us know.
Okay. Second word.
I second that. It was a great, event this past weekend with the Halloween trunk or treat.
Third word.
I have none.
Fourth word.
So we have a road closure on October 31st, this Thursday, from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Lyncourt Drive, in between Court Street and Murdoch Road North. So, just be mindful of, the trick-or-treaters. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the trunk or treat was a lot of fun. We had Dorothy. We had the Good Witch.
The Yellow Brick Road.
I was the Yellow Brick Road. Our fourth ward counselor was the Tin Man. But it was a wonderful event. We were in the village of Liverpool. I wish personally I could have stayed longer. I think it's a good first time that the board has done something like this.
Won't be the last.
I was gonna, our first ward counselor had the idea, I think. She deserves a lot of credit for that. I do like how this board is working so good together. With that, we'll move on to a motion to approve the October 15th, 2024 minutes. Actually, I do want to say this, because I don't think we have a meeting. Halloween is coming up. Please be safe. Trick or treating in your neighborhoods. Make sure that you give the good candy to all the kids. I support that as well. I think the weather is going to be very nice, so I'm assuming there will be a lot of folks out there. My biggest thing is just to please be safe. Do we have a motion to approve the October 15th minutes?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, moving on to town engineer, it's an authorized for the change order for the community center submitted by S.J. Thomas, Company LLC. Jason, you can say if I'm correct or if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, you can please fill in the blanks. This was a change order that we were supposed to vote on a few meetings ago one of the change orders that we were supposed to vote on a few meetings ago with the 7.5-inch aluminum frame, because of the door hinges, correct?
That's
And we only voted on one change order, and there was two that was associated with that, correct?
That is correct.
So this is something that we thought we voted on a couple meetings ago, but it was not supplied to us. It's two separate change orders that we thought we voted on. We only had the one at the time. With that, are there any questions? Okay. Do we have a motion then to approve this change order?
Make the motion.
Do we have a second?
Sorry.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Downs?
Aye.
Counselor Paul? Yes. Counselor Ciccarelli?
Yes.
Counselor Carney?
Yes.
Supervisor Kern?
Yes. The next item is a change order for the overlook project that's out here in Town Hall. It's actually a savings of money. There's some savings with it, so we need a change order for that. They're changing a little bit of the design with the bricks along the bases, something to do with the foundation. They're not able to do the bricks. They have an alternative. It's going to be cheaper. Do we have a motion for this change order? Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Downs?
Aye.
Counselor Paul? Yes. Counselor Ciccarelli?
Yes.
Counselor Carney?
Yes.
Supervisor Kern?
Yes. Next item is to authorize the comptroller to close the escrow account for the UniFirst Corporation project for a highway work permit and refund the security deposit of $152,000 back to the developer. That's how much money was left in their escrow account. Project's done. We should return the money back to them. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Downs?
Aye.
Counselor Paul? Aye. Counselor Ciccarelli?
Yes.
Counselor Carney?
Yes.
Supervisor Kern?
Yes. Anything else? You did a great job. You did a great job. The next item is to call for a public hearing for our local law that amends Chapter 220 related to tobacco retail licensing, decreasing the number of licenses that we have in the town by one. This is because we have had two closures, which show this law is working. They were closed because they were selling. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. This was a big issue that we were able to overcome. It's a model that I know a lot of municipalities across the state are following, not just towns, but counties as well are adopting this law. Again, it is working. We have two that were closed for selling flavored vapes, violating the tobacco license in our town. One of the licenses is actually going to go to a new dollar store that opened up, but we can reduce the number of licenses total by one. We need to have a public hearing for November 12th at 6:31.
Yes.
Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Downs?
Aye.
Counselor Paul? Yes. Counselor Ciccarelli?
Yes.
Counselor Carney?
Yes.
Supervisor Kern?
Yes. Joe, anything else?
Got enough.
All right, next is a motion to close the Burnham and Dewar Park Trail Improvement Projects pending the final payments and return the remaining budget. There is a remaining budget, so there were savings in those capital projects as well. Return that to the general fund. Both trails are beautiful. The Dewar Park Trail, I wish was longer. There's an opportunity for us to expand it in the future. I think it should be expanded. The Burnham Park Trail, again, is wonderful. It's well used. These were great investments into our community for the folks that live here to be able to enjoy it. Do we have a motion to close those projects?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Downs?
Aye.
Counselor Paul? Yes. Counselor Ciccarelli?
Yes.
Counselor Carney?
Yes.
Supervisor Kern?
Yes, the next item is to approve the budget modifications and transfers as listed on the comptroller's report.
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Downs?
Aye.
Counselor Paul? Yes. Counselor Ciccarelli?
Yes.
Counselor Carney?
Yes.
Supervisor Kern?
Yes, the next one is to authorize the supervisor to sign an agreement with Bentier Technology Partners for IT services for 2025. This is what was budgeted for. This agreement is what was budgeted for in this budget. I guess we're signing it now. It's fine. It could have been waited. You could have waited on it, but it'll be signed so that way it'll go into effect when our current contract.
You guys want to just subject it to final legal approval?
Yeah, so we'll throw that in there, subject to final legal.
Motion.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second? Who said second? Okay, yes. I thought he motioned and seconded it. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Downs?
Aye.
Counselor Paul? Yes. Counselor Ciccarelli?
Yes.
Counselor Carney?
Yes.
Supervisor Kern?
Yes, with that, do we have a motion to adjourn? Motion's made, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Folks, have a great couple weeks.